It was the winter of 1959. A group of 9 hikers, all young and experienced mountaineers, set out on an adventure in the Ural Mountains of Russia. They were full of excitement, laughter, and camaraderie. The leader of the group was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old who was known for his skill in navigating difficult terrains. Little did they know, this trip would be their last. And the mystery surrounding their deaths would haunt the world for decades. The group, consisting of 7 men and 2 women, was aiming to reach a peak known as Otorten. Despite the harsh cold, with temperatures dipping well below freezing, they pressed on with determination, documenting their journey with photographs and journals. Spirits were high. They were young, full of life, and doing what they loved. On February 1st, they set up camp on the slopes of a mountain known to the indigenous Mansi people as Kalatsyakl, which translates to Dead Mountain. The name was eerie, but they didn't seem too concerned. After all, they were experienced, and the mountain was just another challenge to overcome. But that night, something happened. Something so terrifying, so sudden, that it caused the group to flee their tent in a state of panic, wearing little more than the clothes they had on for sleep. In the pitch-black cold, in the middle of a snowstorm, they ran into the darkness. Their tent was found torn open, from the inside. Days passed, and the group never returned. Their friends and family grew worried, and soon, a rescue team was dispatched. When the searchers arrived at the campsite, they were struck with horror. The tent, shredded, their belongings left behind. But the most disturbing sight was yet to come. The first bodies were found only a short distance away from the tent, near the edge of the forest. They were dressed in little clothing, barefoot, and frozen in unnatural positions, as if they had been desperately trying to escape something. What could have frightened them so much? As the search continued, more bodies were discovered. Some were found in a ravine, under several feet of snow. These bodies were different. They had horrific injuries. One man had a fractured skull, another woman had her chest crushed, and worst of all, her eyes and tongue were missing. But strangely, there were no signs of struggle, no external wounds that could explain the sheer force required to cause such damage. It was as if something unexplainable had attacked them. The investigators were baffled. The official cause of death was ruled as hypothermia, but that didn't account for the strange and violent injuries. Radiation was found on some of the hikers' clothing, and yet, there was no explanation for where it came from. And then there were the strange reports from other hikers and locals. Some claimed to have seen strange lights in the sky that night, glowing orbs hovering above the mountains. Theories began to swirl. Was it an avalanche that forced them to flee the tent in a panic? But then, why were the injuries so inconsistent? Some suggested military experiments, perhaps the hikers had stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to see. Others whispered of the paranormal, extraterrestrial encounters, or even a Yeti attack. But the truth remains elusive. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident is unsolved. The hikers' final moments remain shrouded in mystery, and the mountain, Kalatsyakl, lives up to its haunting name. The world may never know what truly happened that night in 1959, but the eerie questions linger, casting a long shadow over one of the most chilling mysteries of our time.